All right, welcome back, babies. We are doing circle test review number 1. Remember that this review and the actual circles test look a lot alike. Very similar questions. If it's in this, it's on the test, most likely in some form. There's one exception. I'll tell you about that when we get there. But this, you're looking at the test. Can you do these questions? Can you do the algebra? I'm going to go through this kind of quickly because I don't have a ton of time. Well, as fast as I can while explaining things. But hopefully we got this. Hopefully we do a good job. This is the newest thing that we learned. This is completing the square to put the circle in standard form. The standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. And the first move you want to do is get your x's together. So we have x's on both sides, like there's two sides of the equal sign here. So I'm going to move so we have x squared. I'm going to move the 8x over. Minus 8x would be plus 6x. And then I'm going to leave room for a number that completes the square. Then I'm going to get my y's together. That's going to be y squared. We have a minus 10y. And I'm going to leave room for a blank there. And so I've used all of these things. And I'm going to take that negative 10 and add it to the other side. 22 plus 10 gets me 32. And I'm going to make room for the two numbers I need to add to both sides, the two numbers that complete the square. So what completes the square here? Well, what would make 6 in the middle? It would have to come from a perfect square of 3, which means the last number is 9. Over here for the y one, that's a minus sign this time. What would get you 10? It'd have to be y minus 5 squared, which ends in a 25. If you need help on that, make sure you go watch the video where I explain how to do this. Right now, I'm just working through it. And if I add 9 and 25 to one side, I have to add 9 and 25 to the other side. So 25 plus 9 is 34. 34 plus 32 is 66. And we have our answer. Boom. Next one. Our rules, get used to using the packet. Remember, you can use your packet on this, but it's going to be the outside part times the whole thing. So the outside part is 3x plus 1, and the whole thing, combining like terms, we're adding them, would be 4x minus 2. Equals, same thing for the other one. Outside part is x plus 3, and combine like terms, where we want to know how long is the whole thing. That would be 6x plus 6. All right, so we did the setup. Guys, a big chunk of your test are questions just like this. This is like 20, maybe more than 20 points on your test is what we're doing right now. So you need to be able to distribute. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. We have minus 6 plus 4 for an overall minus 2. And then we have minus 2 as well. Over here, other side, we have 6x squared. We have outside is plus 6, plus 18 would be plus 24, and then 3 times 6 is plus 18. So we distribute, then we make one side equal to 0, and we want to keep our x squared positive. So minus 6x squared minus 24x and minus 18. So I moved everything to the left, and now we pull out the GCF. Always look for a GCF. I can divide by 2. And then we factor. This is the most important thing we're learning right now. So you can do this however you do it, but the way I do it is 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. I make my parentheses. I know that something times something has to be 3x squared. Well, the only thing that can make 3x squared is 3x times x. I need factors of 30 that when I subtract them, the answer is 13. That's going to be 15 and 2. And I would need minus 15 and plus 2. So I need minus 15 and plus 2. My outside distribution and my inside distribution, that's what those numbers represent. If you want to put an X on them, you can. Technically, they have an X on them, but that is your outside and your inside distribution. So did everything check out? First times first equals first. Does outside minus 15 plus 2 get me the middle? And does 2 times negative 5 get me the end? And the answer is yes. These are the factors. That's how I do it. X would then equal negative 2/3. Oops. negative 2/3, and positive 5. But we got to verify that they work. When you plug these in, do they work? One of the things I'm going to show you in my calculator here is I'm going to type in negative 2/3, and I'm going to store it into x. This is a skill I've showed you a few times. It helps you plug things in quickly. I recommend you learn how to do this. Negative 2/3, I store it into x. And now my calculator thinks that x is negative 2/3. And then I type these things in. I'm going to type them all in real quick and then show you. We have x plus 3, I hit enter. We have 5x plus 3, I hit enter. We have 3x plus 1, I hit enter. And we have x minus 3, I hit enter. So I've typed in all of those spots and I hit enter. And you notice some of these are negative. Can a length be negative? No. So it breaks at negative 1/3. It breaks at negative 1. So I know that this can't be my answer. It cannot be negative 2/3. That will not work. What was my other option? My other option was 5. So let's go plug in 5 now. To do that, all you have to do is scroll up to where you typed this in and change the negative 2/3 to the number positive 5. Does every value work out now? Yes, they do. So 5 is the one that makes all of our lengths positive, which is important. So 5, store in x, just real quick, the store key is this arrow. Doop. It's right above the on key, store key, right there. So I hit 5, store into x to get it to do that. And then I type in all the individual spots. We're going to do that again later. All right, going back to the work though. So 5 is the only x that works, and they just asked for x, so that's the answer. That one won't work. All right, this is solving systems. I told you there's 2 things on the test that were not on the quiz. This is one of them. I'm telling you right now, there won't be a picture on the test. It'll just be a system to solve, but this one has a picture, so let's set it up. Opposite corners have to add up to 180. So it is 9x plus 3y minus 31 plus 7x plus 2y have to add up to 180. That's really messy. Let's clean it up. We want to get our x's together. That'd be 16x. Our y's together. That'd be 5y. And then we want it to equal a constant. That would equal 211. So there's the first equation all cleaned up. I'm going to move it over here. Perfect. And this equation, let's make it a little bit smaller as well. All right, so there's my first equation. I'm going to move it out of the way entirely, actually. So there's the first equation. All right, the second equation would be the left and the right also add up to 180. That's the property in this problem. 2x plus 9y plus 15 plus 8x minus 8 also has to equal 180. That gives me 10x. That gives me 9y. And then 15 and 8, that's plus 7, and then subtract 7 would get you 173 on the other side. So here are the 2 equations that we care about. And we are trying to solve this system, and the best way to do that is through elimination. Do 10 and 16 have a common factor? Do 9 and 5 have a common factor? The answer is yes to both. I'm going to do the 9 and the 5. So what I'm going to do is take this equation and multiply it by 5, and take this equation and multiply it by negative 9. I need one of them positive and one of them negative. So when I do that, the first one becomes 50x plus 45y equals, it'd be 500, 850, that'd be 865. I'm going to type it in. I don't want to be wrong. So 173 times 5 is 865. Perfect. And then the second row, 90 and 54, would be negative 144x, negative 45y. That was the goal. And then 1800 plus 99, negative 1899. I'm going to type these in real quick. I don't want to be wrong. Negative 9 times 16. I got it. Negative 9 times 211. I got it. That's a 9, by the way. Okay. Why did we do that? Well, the y's cancel out, and we're left with negative 144 plus 50, which is negative 94x, Over here, negative 1899 plus 865, that is negative 1034. So we divide by negative 94, and we get x equals 11. Boom, nice. Once we know x equals 11, we're going to go back to an equation. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick this one right here, just for fun. That would be 10 times 11 plus 9y equals 173. So that's 110 plus 9y equals 173. So 9y equals 63. So y equals 7. Got it. So there's our answers. That's a system. What will happen on the test? This will be worth 8 points. I'm telling you that right now. On the test, what you will have is this. You will have these two equations. It'll look something like this. I don't know what the equations are, but you'll have two equations, and then you'll have to do the work. You don't have to, it won't be with a picture. I'm just telling you it's a straight systems of equations problem on the test. You have to know how to solve a system, 8 points. All right, moving along. So here I gave you two tangents. The rule for two tangents is that they're just equal to each other. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. That is 3x squared plus 10x plus 2 equals negative 2x squared plus 33x minus 10. Make it equal to 0. That will be 5x squared minus, that'd be minus 23x. And then plus 10 would be plus 12 equals 0. The biggest mistakes will be steps like that, getting things on the same side and watching your signs. The number one issues on the test will be sign related. Is it supposed to be positive? Is it supposed to be negative? Are you getting it right? Are you subtracting when you're supposed to subtract? Or are you accidentally adding? Those will be the biggest mistakes. This is the most important thing we're studying or practicing right now is factoring. 5 times 12 is 60. I need factors of 60 that add. It's positive 60, so they need to add to equal 23. And because 23 is actually negative, they have to both be negative. I make my parentheses. Because it's prime, I know it's going to be 5x times x. 5 times negative 4, 1 times negative 3. So x equals 3/5 and 4. Now, this is a really good one where it helps to know how to store. I'm going to go ahead and do it in my calculator, then I'll show you my screen. But it's 3/5. I'm going to store it into x. Practice typing that in. And then I'm just going to type this in exactly like I have it here. Negative 2x squared plus 33x minus 10. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to type in the other one just to check my work. 3x squared plus 10x plus 2. I'm going to hit enter. And they're both the same number like they need to be. So when I plug in that, I get 227. So it says, how long is AB? I get AB equals 227 over 25. All right, then I'm going to try it with the number 4. The good thing here is like once that I've done this, I'll show you this on the screen. So let me show you what I did. So I went here and I typed in 3/5. That was my answer. I stored it into x. I type in 3/5. I hit the store key and then I hit x. So 3/5 is stored into x. And then I typed in the equations or the expressions. Boom. I typed in the other one. Boom. They're the same answer because they're supposed to be the same size. And they're positive, so that we're good to go. That's an acceptable answer. Now, the other possible value, oh gosh, I forgot what it is. The other possible answer is 4. So what we need to do is change this 3/5 to a 4. So I'm going to delete the 3/5 and type in 4. So now it's going to take 4 stored into x and recalculate. Those are also acceptable answers. And so it automatically calculates the second one for me. This is a really good tool to understand. And so the other possible answer is 90. Because we don't have more information, we just have to say both answers. So those are the two possible lengths. All right, a chord is 24 meters from the center of a circle, and the chord is 14 meters long. There are 3 words: chord, center center of distance from center, distance from center, and then radius. And if you have any two of these things, you draw the same picture every time. So we talked about this last time. You draw this picture, you draw a chord, there's your chord. You draw a distance from the center, there's your distance from the center, and you draw a radius. Now maybe I give you a diameter, but this is just half the diameter, but this is your picture every single time. The chord will be cut in half. It says a chord is 24 meters from the center, so that's 24. The chord is 14 units long. Because it's cut in half, it's got to be 7 and 7. So the radius is 25, so the diameter is 50, so the circumference is 50 pi. But you draw this picture every time you're talking about these things. All right, a circle has that center and has that point. So the equation for a circle is x minus h squared, y minus k squared equals r squared. So we already got a lot of it. If this is h and k, we have x plus 11 squared, y minus 2 squared, and we just need the radius. So the radius will be the distance between the points. Negative 11 to 5. Negative 11 to negative 5 would be 6. We square it. 2 to 0 would be 2. We square it. So that is the square root of 40. That's r. But remember, we want r squared. So r squared would be whole number 40. If I said how long is the radius, you would need to simplify this. But there's no reason to simplify it if the very next move is to square it. So there's our answer. Plus 11 minus 2 equals 40. Angle properties, it's inside but not center. If I had put a heavy dot here, that would indicate it's the center, but I didn't. So what is the rule here? The rule here is arc plus arc divided by 2 equals the angle. So 4x plus 20 plus 9x minus 40 divided by 2 equals 6x. Clean up the top would be 13x minus 20. I'm going to multiply the 2 over. That equals 12x. So x equals 20, and that's all they wanted. So, interior angle rule. Chords. Here we go. Chords is part 8 times part 5.25 equals part x plus 4.5 times part 6. So 8 times 5 is 40, plus another 2. This would be 42. Here we have 6x. That'd be 24 plus 3. That'd be 27. So 6x equals 15. So x equals 2.5. And it says, how long is BD? So what I'm going to do is plug 2.5 in for x. So 2.5 plus 4.5 plus 6. This would be 7 plus 6, which is 13. So how long is the whole thing? The whole length thing is 13. So chord properties, part times part equals part times part. I took the 2.5, that's a 2.5. I plugged it in for x, and then I just added up all the numbers to figure out how long is it. All right, find the intersection. This is one of our newer things. There's a lot of good math here. First move is we're going to take this one. We're going to take the y value, and we're going to plug this in for y. So x plus 5 squared remains the same, but this would become negative 3x minus 29 minus 1, right? This is my y minus 1. So we're replacing y with that. So that would be negative 3x minus 30 squared. And that equals 225. All right. Now we square binomials. We've practiced this. To write it down real quick again, it's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. It is the first number squared plus 2 middles plus the last number squared. Plus, now we're going to do the same thing here. The first number squared plus 2 middles plus the last number squared. And then don't forget your 225 over here. So we combine like terms. We have 10x squared plus 190x Oh, that's a 900. 30 times 30 is 900. Plus 925 equals 225. Make it equal to 0 would be 10x squared plus 190x plus 700 equals 0. And I told you for this test, it will have a GCF. It will have a GCF. So divide by 10, and now we factor. What factors of 70 multiply to equal 19? That's going to be 2 and 35. And 35 would be 7 and 5. So 14 and 5. It's going to be 14 and 5. So it's x plus 14 and x plus 5 equals 0. So x equals negative 14 and negative 5. So what do you do with the negative 14 and the negative 5? Well, remember this equation, y equals negative 3x minus 29. So we have y equals negative 3x minus 29. So y equals negative 3 times negative 14 minus 29. And that's going to get you positive 13 when you plug that in. So we have a coordinate of negative 14 comma positive 13. And then we do the other number. The other number is negative 5. So we would do negative 3 times negative 5 minus 29. And when you do that, that'd be negative 14. So when we plug in negative 5, we get an answer of negative 14. And those are your coordinates. Woo! Great math there. Love it. Moving on. All right, you will have a big circle question on the test. You got to make sure you're doing well with that. If you see a big dot near the middle, it is the middle. We're solving for angles. I'm looking for certain things. Like if I see a line go through the middle, I know I have a diameter. So like if this is 60, I know that W plus X has to be 120. That's all of this has to be 120. I'm not going to label it because that's a little awkward. I also have this 60-degree angle, which also means that's 120. But there's not a lot going on here. I'm looking for inscribed or central angles that I can work with. I got a 44 over here, which means this arc is 88. That's inscribed. That means this arc is 92. Moving right along. I know that, if W plus X, if this is 120, then I do know that this is 120 and this is going to be 60, so we can do that. We also knew that because this is 60, so that has to be 60, so lots of ways to know that. If I know two angles of a triangle, 60 and 44, I can get the third angle, that's 104. So this has to be 76, which means this is 76, which means this is 104, and this is 104. Here's another triangle here, so that would be 164. So 164 plus 6 plus 10 would be 16 left over for y. Okay, we're cruising. We're doing good. Once I get stuck, I'm looking for stuff I haven't used. I haven't used this 31. So how does this 31 come into play? Well, the 31 opens up to the big arc 92 and the small arc x. If I know two of these three places, I can get the third one. So what's the rule for an exterior angle? It's going to be 92 minus x divided by 2 equals 31. So 92 minus x equals 62. So x has to be 30. So now that I know this is 30, this has to be 90 because we talked about this has to be 180 because of the diameter. Looks like I got everything. So those would be your answers. 120 for V, W would be 90, X would be 30, Y would be 16, and Z would be 104. Moving along. That's an inscribed angle, so we know that 5x minus 10, we need to double the angle to equal the arc. The arc is twice the angle. Lots of ways to think about that, but that's one way to think about that. So that'd be 10x minus 20 equals 6x. So 4x equals 20, x equals 5. If x is 5, this would be 25 minus 10, so this would be 15. If x is 5, this would be 6 times 5, which is 30. So arc BA is 30. Is it drawn to scale? Does this look like a 30-degree arc? Does that look like it's 1/12 of the circle? No. Looks way closer to like 120 degrees. Looks like it's almost a third of the circle to me. So is this picture drawn to scale? Nope. Will every picture be drawn to scale? Nope. Don't expect them to look correct. They might, but they might not. All right, more angles, more arcs. What do we know? Well, we know that these are a full circle, so we know they're going to add up to 360. So let's do that. X plus 60 plus x plus 4x plus 6x is a 360-degree circle. So that's 1, 2, 6, 12 x's equals 300. So x equals, what is 300? Divide by 6, divide by 2 would be 50, 25. So x equals 25. Well, if x is 25, this would be 150, and this would be 25. So now we can do our exterior angle rule. What is the exterior angle rule? I'm going to make this a lot smaller now. But the exterior angle rule is big arc, 150, minus small arc, 25, divided by 2 equals the angle. So 150 minus 25 divided by 2. I'm going to do 150 minus 25. That would be 125. And I'm going to multiply the 2 to this side. That's going to equal 4y plus 5. So that would be 120 equals 4y. So y equals 30. So x equals 25 and y equals 30. Nailed it. Good question. Secant rules. Secant rules are outside times total equals outside times total. Outside times total. You're combining like terms. It is not outside times inside. You got to be so careful. Come on, guys. All right, so 4 times 22 is 88. This would be x squared plus 3x. So x squared plus 3x minus 88. So 88, what is the most common? The most obvious one to me is 11 and 8, and that is it. So it's x plus 11 and x minus 8. So x equals negative 11 or positive 8. But look at this spot. Could this spot be negative 11? No. So negative 11 doesn't work. Positive 8 is the only x that works. All right, next one. There's more than one way to do this. I'm going to do it both ways quickly. We know our exterior angle rule is y minus x divided by 2 equals 60. So y minus x equals 120. We know that y plus x is a full circle. So you can do a quick system here. This would be 2y equals 480. So y equals 240, leaving you with 120. So that's one way to do it. That's the main way to do it. But I did show my classes a little shortcut. This is the most specific rule we learn all year. Two tangents, these two spots are going to add up to 180. It has to be two tangents. What does it have to be? What does it have to be? Say it right now with me. Two tangents. Don't do it in any other case. So once you knew that was 120, then you could got 240. If you don't remember the rule, you got to solve a system. That's it. Moving on. Here's two tangents, but these aren't angles. But you just said these aren't angles. But you just said these aren't angles. But if this was 50, this would be 130. I'm just making those up. But this is a different situation. What do you know about two tangent segments? They are just equal to each other. So 5x equals 45. X equals 9. Boom, boom, boom. All right, double circle action. Nice. You can only work on one circle at a time. I can get this angle right now. Look at this yellow circle. Isn't that an inscribed angle that opens up to 100? So this angle is 50 degrees. Perfect. And then focus on the big circle. Or the far circle. It's an exterior angle for the far circle. So it's arc x. That's on the outside. The inside arc on the big circle is 110. divided by 2 has to be 50. So x minus 110 has to equal 100. So x has to equal 210. So we did inscribed on the left circle. We did exterior on the right circle. We paid attention to which arcs are on which circles, and we did a good job. All right, here we go again. Love it. Outside times total equals outside times total. Then we distribute. Please try to do this, guys. Distributing and factoring are the two main things we're trying to get good at. That's 2x squared. We have plus 2 plus 4. That's going to be plus 6. Over here, 3x squared. We have plus 1 plus 3. It's going to be plus 4. And then we put everything on one side, keeping x squared positive. That's going to be x squared minus 2x minus 3. What factors of 3? It's going to be minus 3 and plus 1. So x equals 3 and negative 1. Plug it in. But look, look at that. If I plug in negative 1, I'm in big trouble. So 3 is the only one that works here. All right, and then back where we started, practicing it again. This is the new thing that we did today. This is on the test. This exact question with different numbers is on the test. It's worth 2 points. So it is low priority. Everything else is worth more than this. But here we go. So we want it to be x squared. So I'm going to move x squared over. That'd be x squared. I would do minus 22x. Minus 22x would give me minus 18x. Plus something. Leave room for something. Same thing with the y's. I'm going to move the y squared to the right. So it's plus y squared. Over there's already a 40y. Got it. So I've moved this over, I've moved this over, I've moved this over, I've used this, I've used this, I've used this. I need this 11 to go over here. So it's going to plus something. It's going to equal 11. And you can put placeholders in there, plus something, plus something. So what are those somethings? Well, what would make this perfect square? It would come from x minus 9, so it's going to be plus 81. What would make this perfect square? That'd be y plus 20, so it's going to be plus 400. And so we need to add 81 and 400. 81, 82, 92, 492. Got it. Woo! That was a lot of fun, honestly. This assignment and your actual test are really similar, my friends. Make sure you are ready to rock and roll. Love you guys. I will see you on test day.